Right, so the live stream for 341 has happened, and I didn't see it because I was outside with the homies, touching the grass, you know what it is. But we do know the banners that are in the 3.1 update, and they are, I'm going to pause so I don't have to hear Hoot Howl screaming, they are Cyno and Venti in part 1, which we finally, after 2 years, I can finally get my little Venti. I need him. I need this dude. And also Cyno and also Candy's Nuts Fit in Your Mouth is also on this banner as a 4-star. And as well as that, on the Phase 2, we have Cyno, not Cyno, Cyno's in Phase 1, Nilou, and Albedo, which I don't know why Albedo's there. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I've not actually seen anything about the update so far. I've only just seen the banners, so, I mean, they're probably tied to an event or something, which sounds kind of cool, but, yeah, we're going to talk about which banner should you be pulling on in this update. So if you guys enjoy this kind of content and you want to support the channel, you're also free to sub, because a small percentage of watching videos are subscribed. If you're not returned to the channel, we do Genshin Impact content periodically, and we're trying to hit 10k. If you want to help me, feel free to sub. If you don't, it's fine. I'm not going to force you. But let's get into it. So, I mean, I could talk about Cyno. Now, what is Cyno? He is basically... I knew she was going to say that. She's basically, if you think about it, a Razor 2. Now, while being a Polom character, they kind of share, like, a kit that's kind of similar. And by kinda, I mean not really at all. But like I genuinely know nothing about this character. So I mean, I've just seen his abilities from a very very cool source, and I don't know why I've done that. But yeah. So I mean the way that Mr. Cyno works here is he's got a polearm, so he attacks quite quickly. But you tap E, and he goes forward and does electro damage. You know who does that? Boom, Razor. Yeah, you're following me. That's kind of cool. So I mean, press E, you do damage, and then you press the Q, and then I've never used the Razor ult, but basically instead of like Razor doing physical and electro, Cyno just does electro damage, and also I think his skills get empowered as well. So yeah, I think people will use the skills on that. I don't really understand how he works entirely, but I think he's going to be an electro main DPS, and you know what? We've not had one of those in a while, surprisingly. I mean, I'm trying to think, what was the last electro DPS? I mean, Yamiko certainly isn't. Raiden Shogun can be a sub DPS. I mean, Kaching, you could put her down as that. But apart from that, like, trying to think, electro main DPSs, I mean, Razor's more of a physical than a electro one, but I guess we can give electro. Yeah, we don't actually really have an electro main DPS character apart from Kaching, maybe Raiden, and then maybe Official Albedo if you're feeling a bit fruity that day of the week. So, I mean, hey, I know a lot of people have been waiting for him because he's kind of cute. So, if you're gonna, yeah, I'd say you get my verification. I'd say he's worth it. Next up, Venti. Now, listen, I'm a Venti simp. I'm also a Venti shrimp, but like, I'm just saying, I've been waiting since day 1 for this guy. I tried to get him on the first banner, couldn't get him. Second banner, couldn't get him. Third banner, couldn't get him. Now that's my 4th chance to get him. I'm going for him. And honestly, best weapon for him, the stringless. You don't need Elegy of the End. You just need a stringless, or even that, better yet, you can use a Favonius Warbow, which you get for free anyways. So very free to play friendly. You just put a 4-piece Viridescent Vanera, you press Q, you win the game. If you need a support to suck things, Venti's your guy. I mean, Kazuha also does the job, but his sucking ability is not as good as Venti, one would say. So, I'd say if you need to suck quite hard, Venti's your man, and he works very well for small mobs. Maybe not the Inazuma mobs, because the Inazuma mobs decided to like wear 20 plates of armor that day of the week, so they don't get sucked up. But I mean, hey, Venti, beautiful support, would definitely pull. Now, second half of the update, we got Mr. Albedo. Now, what is Mr. Albedo, you might ask? He is a Geo support, like sub DPS, I think. I don't really know him that well, but I mean, look, if you have Cinnabar Spindle, it might be worth it, because that's one of his, I think that's his best in slot weapon. So if you got it from the event in 2.3, I'd say yeah, probably worth it. If you don't have it, I don't know what to use, but if you need a Geo sub DPS, which, I mean, to be fair, might be good for my Ito or my Zhongli as a Geo like Geo construct, I'd say we are kind of okay. I mean, if you're running mono Geo with like Ito, Guro, Zhongli, Albedo, yeah, go for it. If you're not using Geo that much, or you don't really have much for Mono Geo, probably don't do it. That's just me. And then we got Nilou, which looks to be a Hydro, like DPS or sub DPS. She's a Hydro sword user. I wonder who else is a Hydro sword user. But it seems to be that she does damage based on that max HP, which means you probably want something like Primordial Jade Custard for the HP bonus. Or Energy Recharge, because it looks like her burst looks like a really fun way of doing damage. But she looks kind of like a sub DPS or even a main DPS. She's a main DPS Hydro. Very exciting. I don't really understand her kit that well based on the naughty content I wasn't supposed to watch. Thank you, Havers, don't sue me. But yeah, overall, Nilou, she looks kind of based. Her design's kind of based too. So which banner should you pull on? Now, hear me out. All these banners in this update they're all kind of strong banners in their own right. Now, the only banner I wouldn't recommend is Mr. Albedo, only because he doesn't have as much team building potential as the other 3 characters do, because for Albedo, ideally, you probably want like a mono Geo team to maximize his usage. You can probably run him in other teams as well, but honestly, the only place I would see him is mono Geo. That's just me, because like even stuff like Bennett won't affect him because he scales off of defense. Now, other characters, Venti. If you don't have Venti, he's not as strong as he used to be, but he's still fairly solid. He gets into a lot of teams right now for the Abyss still, even after like a year and a half. Actually, no, it's 2 years now, anniversary and all that, yeah. But overall, Venti, fairly solid character. I would say he's probably one of the higher ups on the pool list. Cyno, I don't know, man. He doesn't look like he's it to me. Like these Sumeru characters, they're just not doing it for me as much as Inazuma characters did. So I'm gonna say for Cyno, only pull if you have excess Primo Gems, or if you really wanted him already and you like a design. But I can't see him being a must-pull unit, personally. And the same goes for Nilou. I mean, Hydro is a very premium element, because it's only seen on a very few characters. But to be fair, the last Hydro character was Yelan, and she's kind of busted. So, I mean, look, if Nilou can be used as like a sub-DPS role, I think, yeah, she'd be higher up there. So if I had to go in the order of banners to pull on, I'd say number 1, Venti, number 2, Nilou, number 3, Cyno, and then number 4, Albedo. That's my final answer. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know down below, what banner are you guys pulling on? Or are you even going to be pulling in the 2.1, yeah, 2.1, yeah. Now, the 3.1 update, I mean, I'm going for Venti 100%. I've saved up 1,000 Primo Gems for him. That's kind of crazy, guys. But yeah, drop a sub if you enjoyed the content. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video really soon. Have a lovely day, everyone.